Yeah, again, that's just me. And I know now too, one of my big issues with Wizards of the Coast is they're getting rid of legendary actions and they're just giving monsters extra reactions. Like one of the things people were complaining about was the Vecna dossier that came out.
Oh,
like,
I hated that thing.
Like the adventure's not bad, but like the Vecna snap block is not a fucking, like, he's not a lich. I know Josh gets mad at me when I talked about this, but like he's not a lich. He's a fucking like level like 20 shadow rogue guy. He has a fucking dagger.
No,
like,
bro, I agree. I do agree with you. I cannot stand the Vecna boss stat block. Because moreover, right? Because yes, I agree. He does like weird roguish shit. The thing I don't like is that it's just not a fun stat block. It's just like
he does a
everything about it just seemed annoying.
Yeah,
he teleports and then he stabs you and heals like 45 hit points. And he's got this crazy passive damage. It's like,
see, I don't mind the teleporty thing because again, I've done it with my players. The teleporting keeps players on their toes and it changes positioning of the map. What's the one thing a lot of people complain about 5e? There's no reason to fucking change positions on the map. I might as well just stay in this one spot the entire thing. And it's like, all right, dickhead. What if I fucking have the boss like teleport 60 feet at the end of each of its round? Now I have to move on my turn. So fucking positioning is annoying. It's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You know?
Well, so my thing, right? If it just teleported, that's fine. The issue is that
the Vecna
you can do damage to him, right? He can walk up, stab you, teleport away, and that has infinite casts of lightning bolt.
Yeah,
that's kind of the thing that gets on my nerves. Is like, because
no, go for
it. It's like it's not even that's hard to counter on a meta level. Eventually, that'll just get annoying for the players.
Yeah, like I like his like evil counterspell effect that he gets, where it's like he can counterspell somebody and the person takes damage. Like that's pretty mean. That's good for like a super lich fight. And his one recharge ability, which is like the wave of like ghost that he just shoots out at people. Like that's cool. But like otherwise, like nothing screams like the ultimate, like the first lich. Like he's just an undead rogue guy. And then I look at the Aceric stat block and basically he is like the Aceric stat block is a beefed up lich stat block. And it's like, okay, like I think Aceric can cast Wish like twice. He did the Matt Mercer thing. He has more than one 9th level spell slot. It's like,
that is, to be fair, one of the best parts about having an evil like spellcaster at the end. Except more 9th level spells than the player.
Yeah, exactly.
And then gotta hold that. Like that's.
But like Vecna can't do that. Like the fuck.
Yeah, I'm trying to formulate my next. I pretty much agree. Yeah, I think the fight is. If he had a passive regen, right? If he like passively healed, like it didn't even have to, it can be a lot. Like passively heals 40 hit points a turn, right?
Yeah,
that's fine. But the like, he does it on an attack. Every attack he hits will heal him, and it's like so you can just get boned by the RNG. Like now,
yeah, I'm looking at like he has the dagger. Yeah, target takes 2d8 necrotic damage. Immediately after taking the damage, the target makes a DC, ending the I guess there's a poisoning effect with it. And then his whole like he has the vile teleport, which is he teleports and then one creature within 15 feet of where he teleported takes psychic damage. And then if at least one creature takes his damage, he regains 80 hit points.
Yeah, see,
that's the thing where it's like he doesn't regain the damage you took. He gets a flat 80.
That's in my opinion, that's way too much. Yeah. I would say give him like 500, 600 hit points and just call it a day and give him like a 20 to 40 hit point regen. Because like, I guess the idea that they're trying to make is like, well, technically you can kill him in one round. And it's like,
yeah, but
you can.
One wants that.
Nobody wants that. B, the last thing people want is a long drawn out war of attrition. That's not what you want. This is okay. You didn't play Dark Souls 3. But there's a boss at the very end of Dark Souls 3.
Is it the dragon riding guy? That's the only one I really know of.
No, it's a dragon. It's called Midir.
The one you can just one shot.
No, not that one.
Oh.
It's at the end of the final DLC.
Oh, DLC.
So the main thing with Dark Souls boss fights, right, is that they are quick, they are visceral, and they're brutal.
Yeah.
They shouldn't last more than 5 minutes. Hell, personally, if they last 5 minutes, that's a quite long boss fight, in my opinion. You're supposed to go in, kill quick, and die quick, right? So the fact that Midir has a frankly ludicrous amount of health, and despite it having the same resistances as other dragons, being lightning, in his case light because he's like a dark dragon, the strongest lightning spells you throw at him do nothing because he just has that high resistance to everything except that one thing, and even then he's still kind of resistant to it. That boss fight takes like 9 to 10 minutes. And it's just so antithesis to everything that a Souls fight should be that I hate it, you know? And I do not feel like a D&D boss fight should be this long. Like, that's what it turns into, yes, because that's just sort of how the mechanics of a round works out. Yeah,
I was gonna say high-level D&D most boss fights end up becoming a fucking slog just because of how much health a monster has, how much health the party has. And then also, like, I know for me at the end of the game, like, combat took a long time because I have, 5-6 players. So
it does. And I think the issue with the Vecna thing is that because he's got that stupid teleport heal, and he's got infinite long range, high damaging spells, that it's gonna be that but worse.
Well, no, so he's got the at will, like, animate dead, the spell magic, fly, which is weird that he just doesn't have a flight speed in general. Lightning bolt at will, like, that's sure. But, like, as a DM, like, I'm not doing lightning bolt. Like, he's got a fucking the rogue dagger that does a fuck ton of damage and, like, poisons somebody, basically. He's got his whole, like, it's called Rotting Fate. It's basically fucking necrotic fireball. Yeah, 8d8 plus 60 damage. So he's got, like, at one of his turns, he can either use his recharge thing, if it's available, his necrotic fireball, or he can cast the spell. And then he can make 2 stab attacks. So most turns, it just makes more sense, like, if you don't have your whole the flight of the Damned, which is a he summons a bunch. It's to summon a bunch of ghost things. The recharge. Yeah. So if he doesn't have the recharge up, I'm most likely on my turns just gonna do the necrotic fireball and stab and teleport, and that's it. Like, I'm not even gonna think about lightning bolt. Like, invisibility, probably. Like, dominate monster, global invulnerability if I wanted to fuck my players. Like, yeah, but like. The necrotic fireball, A, it's an easier option, and B, it just does more damage. Like, fucking.
It does. So here's my thing, right? I think at some point you have to start using lightning bolt. Why? Because Rotten Fate every turn is not fun for the player. It's going to be boring, and eventually they're going to go, yep, you're going to do like 100 damage, like.
Well, basically after the first turn, if the players aren't like, again, level 20. Let's hypothetical here. Oh, we saved up a shit ton of potions and necrotic resistance, or the cleric is going to cast this thing to make us all resistant to necrotic damage. If they don't do that after, like, the second time this happens, then it's kind of like, pulls out a shotgun. Shame. Like,
well, I think the lightning. It's a lot to assume that players are just going to have that. Like, if a cleric thinks to take that with them, if they even have a cleric or something.
They're level 20. That's what I'm saying. Level 20, it's like kind of like what me and Josh were saying, where it's like, just like half the times, don't even try and come up with like some sort of answer. Let the players figure it out, because they'll pull out some shit out of their ass. Like, by high level D&D, that is a constant, especially when it comes to like these fights. Players will either resort to one or two things: hit thing real hard and harder, or they will actually like use their ingenuity and come up with something. And it's like, yeah, I shouldn't presume the players are going to have something resistant to necrotic damage, but if I'm doing a thing where it's like, hey guys, it's a level 21 shot, we're fighting Vecna. Like, if no one takes anything that gives them necrotic resistance, that I kind of put that on the players. Like that's kind of on them.
Well, so I understand what you're saying. I do. And what I'm not saying is that you shouldn't pull out all the stops. What I'm saying is that it is something that you're going to do basically every turn that does an ass load of damage, and it's the same thing every turn. Like, the thing that, like, that makes a dragon, like, ferocious, right, is that it has the breath, its bite, claw, tail, and its wings.
Yeah.
Right? It has a multitude of weapons, so the players aren't going to feel like they're just, okay, he's going to roll a claw attack. Okay, he hits, he's going to roll another claw attack. Okay, he hits. Right, he's going to roll another claw attack. Okay, he hits. You know what I mean? And the thing with Vecna is that because he's allowed to do all of his shit basically in one round, and yes, I know technically not all of it, but the fact that he gets to do his two things and Rotten Fate, or his two dagger and Flight of the Damned, to me at least, and I haven't fought him, so this could just be me like projecting what I feel like it's going to be. Fair enough. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be fun. It's just like, of course he's going to hit me with Rotten Fate. You know, it's because that's his most optimal thing to do.
Yeah, if not that, the Flight of the Damned.
That's it. It's not that it's difficult, that's my issue. Is that it's the exact opposite of what I want out of a high-level boss fight, which is interesting mechanics. It's just damage.
No.
It just does.
Because it is like, yeah, it's so like the Rotten Fate one, it's like I said, the Rotten Fate one I'll give you because it's a fireball that does necrotic damage. If it kills somebody, they become a zombie under Vecna control. Like, all right, that's neat. Flight of the Damned is pretty much frightened. Like, they take, the con save, they take 88 necrotic damage, and they're frightened for 1 minute. So that's kind of like, okay, it's like dragons have their frightened, I forgot what it's called, the frightening presence. You know, the stab dagger is different. Like, again, Vecna came later. As much as I don't like this stat block, like, it is way more interesting than a lot of other stat blocks that come out. It's just damage. It's damage, and then it's a lot of annoying things like frightened and stuff. And at high level play, you know, some people do that shit. They stack annoying things because it's like it's the only way to challenge players. Do I agree with that? Not all the time, but there are some fights where, like, you know, again, you're gonna fight Vecna. Sure, you know, yeah, why not pull out a thing that does necrotic damage and poisons you and gives you the frightened condition and paralyzes you, I guess.
Well, I think, so I do still disagree, but I think that goes back to what I was saying before, right? Where I sort of don't believe that the point of high-level play is to challenge players. It's just to throw shit at them, you know, like...